Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Sister Isles call for greater autonomy has begun with a debate on the Constitution Amendment Tobago Bill. Direct access to the country's natural gas, a new chapter in Tobago's economic development. And the Ministry of the People and Social Development makes headway in seeking the absence of street dwellers throughout the country. Thank you for joining us. The debate has begun on the Constitution Amendment Tobago Bill 2013. It is one of two pieces of legislation that the government promised to bring to Parliament in response to Tobago's call for greater autonomy.
If the proposals in this bill are accepted, then the struggle to remove the shackles that have enslaved Tobago will be removed. Tobago will remain united with Trinidad without being handcuffed to it. We'll be able to hold hands and aspire and achieve together, Mr. Speaker. This marathon journey has lasted several decades. The Constitution is the supreme law of our land, and it is fit and proper that the relationship between our two islands be enshrined within the body of the Constitution itself.
These were the words of Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she piloted the Constitution Amendment Tobago Bill 2013 in the Parliament on Wednesday. The bill will give Tobago internal self-government and lessen the powers of the Parliament over Tobago while increasing that of the Tobago House of Assembly. Addressing concerns regarding an alleged lack of proper consultations on the bill, the Honourable Prime Minister says her government conducted extensive public consultations and even accepted proposals from the Tobago House of Assembly, which the THA considered to be the views of the people of Tobago.
The proposals to amend the Constitution, the bill that we have, included in their proposal the creation of a legislature of Tobago. We have accepted that, and we are doing that in this Constitution. The proposals also indicated the Assembly be given the legislative power. As you know, we are seeking to have in this bill to give legislative power to Tobago. They also proposed that certain matters would not be within the legislative powers of the Assembly, such as the President, National Security, Immigration, the Judiciary, and Service Commissions. We also accepted that, Mr. Speaker, as can be seen in this bill. There were also proposals to deal with budgeting and with borrowing. We also consider those matters, and we've taken them into account in the bill, Mr. Speaker. In relation to their proposal to repeal and replace the THA Act, my government does not agree with such a policy. We are of the considered view that pertinent amendments to that act would achieve the objective, together with the amendments to the Constitution of internal self-government for Tobago.
The Honourable Prime Minister also reaffirmed her commitment to follow through with the bill, even in the face of criticisms regarding its timing.
The best time to deliver a promise is when the electorate is watching very intently. They are more concerned than ever about their future. Otherwise, important promises can be lost in the clutter, Mr. Speaker, and daily routine. And so, now that we have the attention of everybody, that we are delivering Tobago what we promised Tobago as way back in 2010. If there are people who want us to break that promise, I have news for them, Mr. Speaker. It will not happen. It is not going to happen.
The debate on the Constitution Amendment Bill will continue in the Parliament with contributions from both sides. In closing, the Prime Minister thanked the Tobago Organization of the People and members of the public who gave their recommendations and opinions during the early stages of the bill. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Tired or hungry motorists in Tobago now have one extra place where they can stop to fuel their cars and their bodies. This as the Trinidad and Tobago National Petroleum Marketing Company has opened a new quick shop and gas station in Roxborough.
Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Energy Minister Senator the Honourable Kevin Ramnarine were both on hand for the opening of the Roxborough gas station and quick shop. Minister Ramnarine says the gas station was completed in record time. He says, though, the newest addition to the NP gas station family would prove to be an important boost for the tourism sector.
We turned the start for the station in late June 2012. And as you can see, the station is fully completed. It is ready to serve the people of Tobago, and it is an addition to the NP family of service stations throughout Tobago and Trinidad. And I would also add that when we were considering the purpose of building a station here in Roxborough, we were of course told that this is an area that has a heavy flow of tourist traffic going to the rainforests and to the beaches like Charlottesville and so on. So this also is a boost for the tourist industry in Tobago, because as you can see, we have a very well-appointed quick shop there.
Chief Executive Officer of NP, Kenneth Mohammed, says the new facility is just part of the company's plans for the island. He insists there is more to come, including more gas stations and upgrade works to current facilities.
For Tobago, we have several different things coming up. We have another station close to Hope Estate that we're looking at. We also have another station carded for the Moriah area, as well as we upgrading Plymouth. I think it's Canby, and the other one is Scarborough. There was another station that we closed down, I think it was last year or year before, which we also looking at putting in one of our new loop centers there as well, together with our quick shop. We're going to be doing over a whole new LPG plant in Tobago, as well as new facilities for the staff. So there are lots of things going to be happening for Tobago.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
And the Prime Minister has formally connected Tobago to the central natural gas, giving the island direct access to the country's natural gas. She called the development an historic move that marks a new chapter in Tobago's economic development.
From today, Tobago is no longer a spectator, Ashworth, in our national energy sector. Tobago is now an active participant. This is in keeping with the vision of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. It directly affects and benefits Tobago in many ways. You have mentioned some of them.
The Prime Minister says the coal facility receives natural gas from BHP Bilton's Angostura field, and there's the flexibility to receive gas from the wider national natural gas supply grid.
The facility, therefore, is significant from the point of view of energy security for Tobago, as well as being a facilitator of economic development for this island.
The facility is connected to the national natural gas grid by an underground 12-inch pipeline that is 54 kilometers long, passing through waters ranging in depths of between 24 meters and 92 meters.
With the addition of these 54 kilometers, the NGC now manages 1,000 kilometers of pipeline in both Trinidad and Tobago. This is indeed a very significant an achievement for a company that is 100% owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Mrs. Prasad Bisesa adds that everything was done in developing the coal facility to protect the environment and preserve Tobago's natural beauty. The natural gas from the facility will feed Tech power plant at the neighboring Cove Estate, which is a dual-fuel power plant running on both gas and diesel fuel. The Prime Minister adds that Tech will shortly commission its power plant for the use of natural gas, meaning that all power generated in Trinidad and Tobago will be from natural gas.
And this indeed places Trinidad and Tobago in what is unique, because we will be generating all our electricity using clean burning natural gas. The only other country in the world that is doing this is Qatar. So give Trinidad and Tobago a round of applause.
Mrs. Prasad Bisesa explained that the new development would also facilitate new business development in Cove Estate for companies that wish to use natural gas as an input. The pipeline and the gas receiving facility will initially handle about 12 million cubic feet of gas per day for power generation. However, the Prime Minister says that they have both been designed to handle a significantly increased volume of natural gas. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
When we come back, one step closer to the absence of street dwellers throughout the country. Stay with us. Welcome back. Trinidad and Tobago is significantly closer to seeing the absence of street dwellers throughout the country. This as the Ministry of the People and Social Development's efforts are bearing fruit.
Over the past 18 months, the Ministry of the People and Social Development has made significant strides in setting up a program to deal with the issue of street dwellers in Trinidad and Tobago. Recently, Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadar-Singh, invited members of the media to witness the process which an interagency unit of the ministry utilizes to remove such persons from the capital city. The Ministries of National Security and Health have also collaborated on the initiative, which is still in its pilot phase. Minister Ramadar-Singh described in detail the steps to successfully remove persons off the street and have them rehabilitated.
The clients are approached and asked about their willingness to be removed from the streets, step 1. 2, the client's picture is taken generally with their permission and briefly interviewed by the social workers and a medical doctor. 3, the clients agree and sign a contract, readmittance to Transform Life Ministries. Then and only then the client is removed. At arrival at the Transform Life mission, provision is made for personal hygiene and a meal. And I'm told that, and I've gotten great reports, that the care is first class there. The clients are then guided to their respective sleeping quarters. Within 24 hours, the clients are visited by social workers to inquire about their well-being. Arrangements are made for the clients to access the tuberculin test, or the MAN2 testing. This is the tuberculosis test process. The MAN2 testing is conducted at Transform Life by a registered nurse from the Mount Hope Hospital, Nurse Reed. Results are read 3 days later. Positive results require further testing. That is, sputum testing and chest x-rays, which will be then taken for analysis at Mount Hope. Medical evaluations. Clients are taken to the Aruka Health Center, 5 at a time, for medical assessments. Those who have chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, blood work is done and medications are prescribed and administered. Many of our clients do indeed have to stay at the hospitals, and we are guiding that process.
Further to this, the Honourable Minister says psychiatric testing takes place, psychosocial histories are completed with clients who do not appear to have mental illness, and a treatment plan is developed and engaged. A literacy skills test is also performed, friends and family are contacted to provide support and have them reunited, and then government agencies are liaised with to gather necessary birth certificates, ID cards, and other relevant documents. Meanwhile, a registry of street dwellers in the Port of Spain area has been compiled, which has the biographical data of 475 persons. It was only in December of last year that persons began to be assisted off of the streets via the pilot Move Along program, and this is expected to soon be put into full effect and expanded throughout the country. Vision on a Mission and Transform Life Ministries have been two of the most active stakeholders in the initiative. Rehabilitated persons stand to benefit from job placement, housing, hampers, stipends, and a Big Brother system, and according to the Honourable Minister, $8 million has been initially allocated to the program. Though it is a tedious process, he says he is confident that within the unit lies the resources, skills and talent to continue the good work. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
The education system in the Caribbean is set to vastly improve following an important workshop in Trinidad and Tobago. The workshop holds the interest of persons from around the region.
50 education planners from 21 Caribbean countries converged at the Capital Plaza Hotel in Trinidad and Tobago on Monday for the start of the Building Workshop in Education Planning for the Caribbean. The workshop, which is a response to the new challenges for human resource development in the Caribbean, has been organized by the UNESCO Kingston Cluster Office and the Trinidad and Tobago National Commission for UNESCO. It was forged from a realization that education systems need careful planning, programming, and budgeting, as well as midterm reviews, with the aim of keeping on track and achieving the set educational development goals. The central objective of this capacity building workshop is to train staff of the Ministries of Education in the Caribbean in education planning techniques required for education sector plan and strategy preparation, review and monitoring, and to reinforce the participating countries' capacities. Delivering the welcome remarks and officially opening the workshop, Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, who also holds the title of President of the National Commission for UNESCO, says collectively as a Caribbean region, we need to set the goal of being the best in the world in terms of education.
Despite the fact that we are SIDS, small island development states, we ought to be the best because we have the small population, and we should be able to manage our small population very easily. And I can provide the stats as a Minister of Education for you, and I can rattle it off because I know it, where we are. I have 250,000 students, 126,000 primary school students, 96,000 secondary school students, more than about 6,000 or 7,000 early childhood education students in the formal setting, 34,000 in the non-formal setting. I have 476 primary schools, 152 secondary schools, 200 early childhood education centers. And this is where you have to plan.
Oh, very good.
This is where you have to plan.
The education planners were challenged by the minister to think out of the box regarding the way they look at the education landscape and its forward movement. Many key figures spoke at the opening of the workshop and gave various contributions on what exactly the way forward meant. During the 5-day workshop, which ends on January 18th, participants will discuss the global context, rationale and process of education planning and strategic planning, offer the opportunity for stakeholders from the Caribbean region to share best practices and deliberate on issues and challenges of preparing education sector strategic plans, review existing education sector plans and assess the quality of the existing plans, and orient and introduce to the participants with the background, guidelines, objectives, and concepts of education planning. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
When we come back, bravo for the Bravo brothers.
Informing and educating the nation, especially the young ones, about water, how it's won and processed, and how it should be protected are just a few of our major responsibilities here at the Public Education Center. The enjoyable learning environment, cultivating conservation habits, developing healthy relationships, and giving our public an appreciation of the environment in which we produce water. WASA's PEC, the region's only public education center on water.
Bravo for the Bravo brothers as Dwayne and Darren posted a combined 114 runs to steer the Trinidad and Tobago T20 cricket side to victory against the Windward Islands in the Caribbean T20 Championship. This as the Red Force powered their way to their 4th win in 5 games to sit atop the grouping table.
The Windwards were off to a fair start, losing an early wicket but bouncing back to find themselves at 35 for the loss of 1 after the first 5 overs. Some nifty 6s and 4s by the Windwards middle order, including a spirited 25 by West Indies captain Darren Sammy and a quick-fire 20 or 15 balls by Liam Sebastian, provided some stability to the Windwards. However, not before TNT spinner Samuel Badri's miserly spell though, which saw him take 2 wickets and concede just 15 runs off his 4 overs. Windwards ended their innings on 125 for the loss of 6 wickets. TNT looked set to disappoint in their reply, openers Lendell Simmons and William Perkins falling for 6 and 1 respectively. But it was the Bravo brothers who came to the rescue. Boundaries became the order of the day, with Dwayne serving up 4 6s with a side of 5 4s to post a massive 62 or 42 balls. His brother meanwhile did what he could on his end to also embarrass the Windward bowlers with 52 off 31 balls, bringing up his 3rd half century with a 4 and the winning shot of the game. Darren's 3rd half century makes him the player with the most number of half centuries in the tournament. Meanwhile, Dwayne's 62 runs saw him leapfrog to 2nd place in the tournament's top scorer list with an amassed 150 runs, while Darren sits atop the list with 216 runs to his name in the tournament thus far. An easy victory for T&T, but a crushing defeat for the Windwards, which will have them mulling over a name change, Perhaps from the windwards to the waywards. Gregory McBurney, News 4 Sports.
An extremely packed stadium there in St. Lucia. More news after the break. Stay with us. Prison Commissioner Martin Martinez is promising to weed out any corrupt officers in the prison service. Commissioner Martinez was speaking at a function held to show appreciation to all stakeholders who contributed to the service having a successful 2012.
2012 was a good year for the prison service, so says Prisons Commissioner Martin Martinez. The commissioner says many positive developments took place last year. He believes these have contributed to an evident growth and improvement in the prison service.
2012 saw the extensive training of senior level staff in leadership and management, and the training of 60 officers in security and threat assessment. To support this initiative, this position of senior superintendent with responsibility for development training was established. 2012 witnessed the completion of the pilot on LSCMI, which speaks to our capability and readiness to implement an integrated inmate management system. 2012 saw the expansion of the organization structure of the prison service to include another deputy commissioner of prisons and 3 more senior superintendent of prisons, and also witnessed the promotion of 34 officers to the rank of prison supervisor. 2012 witnessed, of course, Rise Maximum Radio, showcasing programs that speak to the educational, spiritual, moral and ethical development of inmates.
Mr. Martinez emphasizes that the few corrupt officers must not be allowed to sully the image of the service. He reveals that more than 95% of the prison's officers are committed to their job and are uncorrupted. He says he will work hard to ensure the few bad apples are not allowed to spoil the bunch.
Less than 5% of the more than 2,800 officers under my watch I consider corrupt, delinquent, trafficking, good-for-nothings. And every effort is being made to weed them out of the system. And of course, we are collaborating with other law enforcement agencies in this regard. However, my evidence is that there are 2,660 and more officers who are dedicated, committed, hard-working, diligent, and resilient, both male and female, whom I can trust to carry on the business of the prison service and on whose shoulders the future of the prison service lies.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.